were the damage dealers, and now you're just the facilitator of the wave.
As an AD carry main,
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of an addict, and that addiction is CS. Okay. So to be honest, I'm kind of okay with it. I like farming minion waves. I like playing Ziggs. I like playing Varus. I actually like playing Caitlyn.
It was like, oh, there's a cannon. That's it. Everyone's like fighting off the side. Like, have you seen that meme of the guy who like is losing his mind, pressing every button furiously, and then it's just some guy singing.
Profusely.
Yeah, that's just you as you pick up your 6th cannon minion of the game at 25 minutes.
Oh, if only. I never get them. Okay, KC spotted on a ward. Our pause is done and dusted, and touch wood, our only one. LeBron and Sama trying to move forward, but don't think KC are going to let them get away with this one. At least, though, caught by the Q. That's a big old chunk and a nice little stun from Lebrov as well. Good start to the lane for G2, and honestly, falling behind in HP against that Caitlyn Bard early is brutal.
Yeah, that ward was MVP. It just meant that you had information on where the target was. Also, Hansama being able to get that Q without any minions to reduce that damage was huge. So G2 now full control over this bot lane, and you can look at Skumon already, considering going for an invade there, but decent ward from KC will spot that out, so he's just going to back away instead.
Hansama, you see, just getting his headshot ready and just walking forwards as well. He's like, what are you going to do about it? Happy to drop a couple of CS if necessary, if it means denying a bunch from the KC bot lane. Kalist, I can imagine feeling the pressure in that seat right now. There's a whole arena that has been chanting his name for the last 15 minutes. I imagine the pressure is immense. Yank moving down to the bottom side. I don't know if he'll get much of an opportunity really to get into this lane, but should be able to get his camps.
Yeah, I do love how familiar both these teams are clearly though, because Yike already had a ward in River to spot out, hey, is there a potential invade coming through from Skumon? You then see the ward going towards the Tribe Rush right in the middle of your screen there to say, hey, we're going to spot in case LeBron goes for some sort of roam, potential for Skumon to come over after picking up his red. So both teams hyper aware of what G2 are trying to achieve, and KC trying to limit that impact that they're able to have right now.
I love as well, we've been talking about this bot lane basically for the entire pre-game because it's just such an exciting 2v2.
Oh, you want to talk about the Maokai versus
I was about to
Cassante,
say, you look up towards the top lane where you've got absolute veteran talent, 2 incredible top laners, and we got Maokai versus Cassante, one of the most exciting matchups available. I can't imagine much is going to go on.
Yeah, they have one pot, one biscuit each. That's going to go great. The exactly 0 gold difference between the two, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean,
how? They were on 16 and 17 CS. How are they on exactly the same gold? Yike, over the wall. Skumon has managed to take that camp away, I believe, as he moves down. And now Skumon will be able to get a little bit of a CS advantage as he goes to the crab. You can see he's got his whole blue side quadrant available.
Yeah, and I think that's the big one. Just putting that amount of pressure down on towards Yike meant that you kind of had to do more defensive maneuvers. You're able to steal away some stuff for Skumon as well, and now he's in a fantastic spot. You do have to be a little careful on this top side though as Broken Blade, because if you want to try and get this, oh, actually he's in a fine spot. Waves pushing back out, because Yike is going to be coming back out onto the map now with those double longswords picked up, so he's hunting for somewhere to try and make a play. More than likely going to be on the top end, as that's where his camp's going to respawn first.
Oh no, the sweeper not quite in range. So Yike was spotted, but he doesn't know he was spotted. Caps can play this out nicely, although gets caught by the stun. He did see Yike there, but it still takes a massive chunk. If that Q lands, I think that's at least a flash.
That was Caps calling Yike's bluff. Because you can flash his Vi, you can connect with that, and he is dead. Caps was like, you're not going to do it. You're expecting me to flash, and that was mind game upon mind game in that one. That was well held by Caps.
And only about 5 pixels away from just the standard Q without the flash hitting as well. Caps really holding his nerve. Fantastic. And, you know, off the back of that information, saw Yike coming into the lane. Now with just under a 10 CS lead for himself, although Vladdy should be able to sweep up a couple more of these. Nice start, though, for the mid laner of G2.
Yeah, this is a weird invade from Skumon, though. Does that push on bot, but hasn't reset yet. So Yike with the damage advantage, but actually Kalist very low on bot.
Skumon with a level advantage, but with KC moving over, or KC's bot lane moving over, Yike will be able to secure the Gromp for himself. Will be okay, but yeah, massive CS lead in the jungle so far for Skumon. Kaz gonna go for his reset finally, can move back towards that top. I was going to say towards that bottom side for Crooks, but actually it looks like he's leaning top.
Yeah, I think he's looking for Void Grubs on spawn, whereas they come up. Only 30 seconds to that, so he gets a decent back, has the Rectrix picked up, can immediately move into that position, and you've already seen that basically every single lane is pushing for G2. I think this is where G2 are at their most dangerous. When they're able to control the map, when they dictate the pace of the game, this is when they're going to start to come alive. And you're about to hit level 6. I can't see if he has it already, but you're 5.5 minutes to 6 minutes. Level 6 is on the cards. Now you can start to go for these invades with Skumon. And this is where I think we're going to see G2 just blow open this game.
Yeah, I love as well the kind of tonal shift that we've had here. Yeah. We've had 2 show matches to start us off where it's been at least a kill a minute. I think the first game was like almost 2 kills a minute. I think the second one was pretty similar. Now we come into a game and it's like, okay, LEC preview match, real drafts, real rosters in the right positions. And we're serious. We're not messing about in the early game.
Yeah, it's like they're smiling on the face, but you can see it in the eyes that this is no laughing matter. It is, I am going to mess you up, and I'm going to enjoy it every single step of the way. And we already kind of said, look, a lot of that is from Yike trying to say, hey, look, I want to step up against my own team, show that they've made a mistake. And I want to go back to that Caps moment in the mid lane, because that just screams to me how well he knows Yike as a player. Yeah. He knows that Yike is not going to flash in that situation. He knows that Yike is going to say, hey, this mid laner is going to flash away from me, so I don't have to flash. And then Caps just holds the button. Doesn't end up burning it. It's so sick. Like, these are the little things that when you've lived, breathed, gamed, and done everything with your team for an entire year, and especially with the intensity of a G2 schedule, you know these guys inside and out.
So now the question is, on the follow-up play now, does Yike know that Caps knows that he knows? And so because he knows that he knows, then he can outplay the outplay.
I think nobody knows.
And read it one level deeper. It's basically Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy at this point.
It's some Tinker, all right. I think it's just going to be a case of, hey, look, how are we going to try and stop this from G2? Skumon moves up towards this top side. You can see the reset coming through from Kalista to try and move into that top end to protect. But this was just a good back timer that Skumon managed to pick up for himself. Now, KC, you're kind of in position, but you're just too late to the party.
Skumon should be able to get, at minimum, 2 of these, but I would imagine it's all 3 because he'll still have his smite available for that third one. KC trying to move in to contest at this point. But it's too little too late. Nice little stun from Lebrov as well, and that's 3 grubs with really no recompense.
Yeah, the only thing that Skumon's missed out on for this is that he hasn't cleared his Krugs on the bottom side. Like, they've just been sitting there, but like, in the grand scheme of things, yeah, you're pretty happy. So, in this position, again, you're getting the push from Hansama here. Lebrov is just trying to play as a basically a ward in this position to make sure that he's going to be all right. And then I think you can start to, again, shift people around the map, because level 6 for Caps, Skumon going to hit 6 soon as well, and I think you're in a good spot.
Kalista has only just hit level 5 as well. Hansama, a whole level ahead, and you can see in the CS as well, 20 CS up. And a lot of that off the back of how badly that level 1 went for the KC bot lane. And it feels like against a Caitlyn, as soon as she has just the tiniest advantage, it snowballs so painfully. Now Hansama trying to crash yet another wave, as we've got a wet noodle fight in the bottom lane. Canna punted away. And that is the end of the fight.
I think BB... No, I think you got Cannon, actually. I thought that was going to be a disaster, because that would have been the actual result of the wet noodle fight. But I think at this stage, my core focus is going to be like how G2 try and play this one out, because it's... People are going to be like, it's even. Why are you only talking about from G2's perspective? Well, they're the ones that have all the pushing lanes. They're the ones that have priority onto the map first, and now they have gone for that, the void grubs. KC are responding well here by saying, hey, we want to trade onto the opposite side, and especially as Caps have just gone for that reset in mid, they do have a bit of a window. But I'm curious now, in response, G2 shove in mid and try and go for some sort of dive onto the top half of the map.
So if they're going to go for that play, the wet noodle fight continues. A battle between tanks to see who is most thick, and the thickest noodle we know is Udon. We'll see who's Udon at the end of this game. But KC now could be dived the top side. More of a Katsu angle here, as Lebrov is just going to zip on out in the way that Katsu always does.
This is a great read from Yike. Completely abandons his bottom side jungles and runs towards the top side. Good wards from G2 spot him out, but he was there to try and cover that play, knowing that G2 would want to try and go for some sort of cross map. So again, like a huge amount of mind games coming in onto this of just where they're going to be positioned on the map. And now Yike just facilitating Kalista, who's going to be very low after that ace in the hole, to make sure that he can push in this top side. Hansama?
Hansama's literally just blasting that ult out on cooldown as well. They will just be able to walk up and clear this wave. I mean, yikes, surely, yeah, just cancel the recall. Hans Sammer, I mean, he doesn't want to be alive at this point, surely. There's the ult coming on through from Yank, the knockback as well. Targamas gets the handshake. An easy first blood for KC.
Yeah, great call from Yank, cancels the reset, and Sammer just stepped up that bit too far. Now, Skewmon is going to invade onto this bottom side of the map to try and trade. Also going to deny a lot of that CS underneath the tower as Kana is forced away. But I think getting Kalist back into this game is way more valuable for KC.
Yeah, I mean, that massive gold lead is now down to just 18 in Hans Sammer's favor. Honestly, pretty greedy play from Hans Sammer at this point, pushing very aggressively. He obviously thought the recalls had finished off. I mean, he clearly didn't think Yike was in the area.
Yeah, I think at that stage he was like, look, Yike has to try and go for like some sort of reset, but you can see Skewmon is in his jungle on that bottom side, and if you try and get that wave plus the next one, use the last shred of mana he had, could have been in a great spot where, again, you're denying more of that CS to Kalist, but the risk was so high and he gets punished for it.
I just love that the Least gets the first blood in this game. It's his first stage game here with KC, or at least with the LEC variant of KC. And now finds himself first blood, gets himself back into this game after quite a rough start to the laning phase. I'm excited to see what this mid game can look like for him. Sparus, champion. Oh, nice forward. That was a pixel wide of the ultimate. Beautifully played.
Dodges one ultimate spectacularly and then gets hit by another one regardless.
Dodge
but
this.
Now G2 still with that push, and this is what we were talking about, right? The ability to just constantly play off these pushing waves. KC want to contest though.
It's in the area. I don't think this is something that they can fight with Caps here as well. The wall comes on through to push KC out. That's 5 grubs for G2, and they're looking to just burn the 6th one down. A TP committed at this point as the 6th grub already found, and now Labrov tries to find the stun, but the flash is just a bit of a whiff. Broken Blade here as well. It's a 5-man standoff when the objective is already down, Dagda.
And Kalist is completely separated. There's the ult to try and go onto a great flash.
Flash from Broken Blade to get over the ultimate, but he's gone quite deep all by himself. There's no damage here for KC though, and now the ults fly back in the opposite direction. Health bar's getting fairly low as Kana gets onto the backline with an all-out, but he's totally alone. Dashes back towards his team, but he doesn't even need them. He's the Udon master as he charges forward once again. And Sammer now caught out, won't be knocked back, and Skewmon saves his life, but no! A sliver of HP is more than enough.
I cannot believe Skewmon did not get that kill. And if he had, that could have been the reset. That could have been that moment where he turns it around, but somehow KC hold on. And they're now starting to get that ball rolling.
It could not have been closer. A game of inches there for KC. They do lose the grubs, though. It's important to acknowledge that the objective was gone before the buff.
Yeah, but this is where I thought, okay, this is going to work out great for G2, because it's a good read. KC are in a horrible position here. Their AD carries on the top side of the map, and G2 just look to try and collapse onto that. And this flash from Broken Blade was fantastic. Immediately over, spotting out the ultimate, but there's no real follow-up that can come through. It's just Broken Blade, and Kalist is able to get himself into a great position. The steal from Vladdy on the Maokai ultimate as well completely zoned G2 away. So initially, what started off as G2 thinking they'd get a pick on their AD carry, actually then sets up for KC to turn that around, and Kana dives into the backline to pick up the first kill, and then it's just overextension on G2 side, hoping for more.
I feel like Kana there, you know, he's a bit upset that Ambessa is getting all of the broken allegations. He's like, just wants to remind everyone how obnoxious Cassante can be. G2 play on the top side, and they're looking for revenge onto that very same player. A TP coming through from Vladdy to try and save the day, but he's instantly chunked out. Kana blocks this in the hole, and now Yike arrives as well. Targamas over the wall. Everybody turns golden as we have a moment's break in the fight. Broken Blade charging on in, but his health bar is low, and KC are holding strong. Targamas walks away. The CC chain is there, and KC do it again.
They got Hans Sammer. It's not done.
Hans Sammer caught out. Vladdy chasing his Kana, looks for the backline. In the meantime, double kill for Vladdy, and KC here in Paris are 5-0.
That was so sick. And Kalist wasn't even there for it. KC played that so well, trying to find these picks that collapse onto side lanes, the read on the G2 plays. And G2 are crumbling.
And I tell you what, the audience here are loving every second of this. Kana, a solid rocked to start this playoff.
Exactly. The fact you get that TP slams the Maokai in against the wall as well. And there's not really anyone who can deal damage to him right now. But I want you to watch as well as this comes through. So Yike gets on towards Caps. The CC comes through. They keep him safe. But Hans Sama just stands there, can't actually get underneath the tower, tanks the turret so Caps is able to get out, but now you've got both of your damage dealers on the opposite side of a turret that can't even approach this. And then Vladdy again, these ult steals and timings have been spectacular, catching out the G2 key members when he needs to.
And KC doing a really good job to juggle the aggro as well. Against a Viego, it's so crucial that you don't give over an early kill. Speaking of kills, Lavrov could be on the chopping block. The knockback is nice from Caps, but Vladdy's done enough to zone them away, and Skewmon has to pull out of the pit here. This should be just the Drake going over to KC. That's 2 in a row. It's 5 kills. It's 2 objectives. It's looking good.
And it's a great defense. Yike had moved up towards that Rift Tower, which has just spawned. And basically G2 just trying to trade on the map, hoping they can get something. But KC defend that. They chunk out G2, so they have to reset. And now KC can still contest the Rift Tower on the top side with all that gold they just picked up.
So far, so good, and I'm excited to see how the crowd are going to react to this mid-game now, because gold, despite the kills being in KC's favor, is still relatively even, and G2 want to start to snowball that if they can. They're going for this Herald. They already got the 6 scrubs. Side lane could be the name of the game for them.
It looks like instead of trying to commit for the Rift Herald, they're going to just push mid and lean into this bottom side. Yike really wants to bully Caps out in this game. He is hovering down here, but I think Caps is aware that he hasn't seen enough of KC on the map yet.
Yeah, Caps quite happy to just sit underneath that tower, catch the wave as it comes. And rightly so. Caps has been doing a really good job of just reading Yike for this whole game so far. 0-0-0. It's been a quiet one from him, but you fully anticipate now, especially with level 11 short cooldown on that ultimate.
Sorry, when you said 0-0-0, you sounded like the Bowser music in Mario.
0-0-0.
That's what I want.
Do you know what? I went to Japan recently. I went to Mario World at Universal. It was so cool. I literally queued for 2 hours in Bowser's Castle to go on the Mario Kart ride.
Maybe that's why it's still in your head.
It was sick, but, you know, 2 hours is a long time to queue, I will say. There's only so much 20 questions you can play. So anyway, Doctor, animal, mineral, or vegetable?
I think it's a rock that's about to get fallen in the top side as that turret's going to go. BB going to be able to walk away. Kalist caught, but there's no follow-up.
It's a good stun. Caps is finally here. Kalist dashes away from the knockup. Look at the CC chain coming down onto Caps. The peel is enough. Skewmon now dived on by Yike. He might have gone a little bit deep, forced to flash away. All in from Skewmon, but no kills go down just yet.
That was so close on both sides, but hang on a second,
Kana's going for it again. He's having a fantastic game and forces the flash out from Broken Blade, but G2's cavalry is on the way. Kana has to survive until KC arrive once again at TP, and Yike moving over. Vladdy trying to get into the play. There's the knockback, and it'll set up a kill for the Silas. Fantastic bit of play again. 0-7. KC are on fire.
But it's the fact that they are constantly covering their deficits as they go for this. It's covering the play on mid, they get the kill back. Then they look for the play on top side and they get that as well. That should give them such a great start coming into, 70 minutes. We're looking at Baron in just a little bit of time, and KC are really starting to get control of this map.
It feels like G2 are really trying to push forwards in these plays. Usually when you see a buy on the team, you expect them to be the one going forwards, but Yike is playing as a bodyguard, really.
Which is, I think, correct. Oh, hang on. Rock God, no, let's just get the tower. But I think it's correct in this sort of situation, because while you can try and push forward or over-aggress, if you end up going in towards, Caps Unraveled Earth, you're going to have a miserable time. Broken Blade can lock you down. You can just kind of lend yourself into other people being that designated engage tool. And Vladdy has done a great job of that. So many times he's been stealing core ultimates, but in this situation, this is a great idea from Lavrov. G2 aren't there. Like, the timing is so close to being good. Look how close he is to that being the knockback to set up for a great play, but instead he gets the flash. Ultimate from Targamas is fantastic, and G2 are just routed where they stand.
I just love that Kalist sees the Tempered Fate landing on him, just immediately up with the surrender emote over his head. Absolutely hilarious. Targamas now caught in the jungle, and the ace in the hole! Is it going to be enough? Can they get the reset kill in time? No, taken down, and now the TPs fly on through from both sides. Vladdy looking for a little bit more as Kana happy to tank up those roots for his team. Is he tanky enough though? He's gone in totally alone and there's no follow-up from KC. They've had their first casualty and G2 want to turn it into more. I don't think they can keep chasing this one as KC do go full retreat.
Caps is on the reset. I think he's just going to try and maybe TP back into this one. You can see him hovering, moving up towards the top side to cover the big wave that's there. But Dragon in 35 seconds, that's a lot invested on, honestly, both sides. But you still have to try and fight for this one as G2 because you do not want to give a Cloud Soul over towards a team like KC right now.
And you just got to think about like how much commitment this is taking from G2. All they managed to get was a single kill on target. It will help with setup potentially for this Drake. Look at the blue wards in the Drake area. There is pure vision for G2.
Broken Blade doing a nice job of using these saplings to help out with some of that vision. Caps still pushing into this top side. It's kind of what Caps does best when it gets to these sort of situations, just creating pressure in the side lane. Vladdy going to try and move up to help out, but he has no TP, whereas Cap still does. So I think that's where G2 going to try and use that pressure as Dragon's now up to potentially get a tier 2 on top. Vladdy only now getting there, but can also play towards Dragon with that push that Caitlyn offers.
Importantly, Targamas grabbing himself that Mikhail's. So if Khalees does get caught by something like that root, we'll be able to cleanse that away from his AD carry and keep Khalees a little bit safer. But G2 move into the top side, take away a red buff, try grab something for themselves. Broken Blade moving in towards this Drake. Yike is here with the smite, but the rest of G2 are coming over, and Broken Blade has done enough to keep KC off the objective.
Yeah, it's just trying to draw KC down. Look at Vladdy, right? He's now completely left top lane, which gives that chance for Caps to start to get some damage, but he's not going to be able to take the tower on top, and now you are down that ultimate. So I think this is where you see KC actually take it, but it's a bit of a mixed call from G2. Unsure exactly how they want to try and play that one out.
And to be fair to KC, like, doing a good job of peeling away from the Drake without completely conceding the Drake, right? Still being in the area to contest. I thought there was pings on towards the Baron there for G2 for a second. I didn't think that would have been a risky call.
I think the problem there... Oh, hang on. Is Lavrov gonna...
Flick back on Targamas. Steps on forwards to dodge it. Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, especially with no flash. Kind of had to make something happen there. But I think this is the position now where G2 are going to start to... have kind of lost their window of opportunity to play around the fact they had that advantage. Oh, okay.
Oh, Khalees is going to be stunned, but you know, it's a bit little after everything else that was blasted out.
But this is what I was going to say. I think G2 have kind of realized their window's gone. TP now on Vladdy means he can match, if not kill, Caps on the side lane. You're going to have Kana matching Broken Blade as well. So your ability to play 4 picks and play out on the map is starting to dwindle. So hoping they could catch KC on a reset timer there, maybe get some control back on the map, but Khalees too good with the footsteps.
Yeah, really, really nice footwork. And that's the second time that we've seen him dodging these tempered fates. I like the use of the Ace of the Hole to pop the spell shield so that you can try and go for the tempered fate, but ultimately, well played by Khalees. And obviously Targamas being there to have that Mikhail's to stop the stun, even if there was follow-up from G2. Not sure it would have worked out.
I do think, though, game can get a little bit messy for KC, simply because they don't have a very quick Baron take. So the threat of them going for a Baron isn't particularly high for G2. Yeah. Also, if you're in that pit, LeBron Ultimate is a fantastic tool in that sort of situation. So when you're in this position as KC, you kind of need to find ways for Vladdy to become enabled on the side to find a pick on towards Caps, but you're just having this push-pull in side lanes constantly from G2, and KC just can't really keep up with it quite well.
I think it's kind of scary to go for Baron without complete control for either side, because you've also got the Varus on the side of KC. We've all seen what Varus can do. Gula Yushi, in fact, here today, has rather famously stolen Baron with that Varus. The QW just such a potent tool. As KC try and contest River once again. LeBron gets some deep vision before he retreats towards this top side. This is tense like that. I know that this is like the LEC preview match, but you know, I wasn't expecting it to be quite this tense.
Yeah, I think again, like, both these sides just want to show what they're capable of coming into 2025. And at the moment, KC's been doing a really good job of catching G2 with the pants down whenever they go for some of these side lane plays. And credit to them, that is... hang on.
Oh, yike, that was bold. And now Targamas caught out. That's one for G2, and this is a comp that snowballs hard. Vladdy in the Baron pit needs to get himself over that wall. Cats goes with the Weaver's wall to try and get onto Khalees, but he can't quite find the spell shield. and instantly the FF mode comes out once again. But G2, importantly, have control of the Baron area.
And they're just going to start up the Baron. You can do this very quickly. Kraken Slayer on towards Skumons, and you got a ton of damage with the Landries on Caps as well. KC need to get in. Can Yike look for the steal?
Kana has to be the one to charge on forwards and buy space for his team. Yike there. Remember, Kalist on that Varus as well. It is stealable for KC, but they might lose their lives in the attempt. Tempered Fate onto 2 is Broken Blade, completely zoning Kalist. Vladdy trying to get into the fight as well, but Kana is already going to go down. Dashes out to his teammate and survives. Baron has reset, and KC have held on. Now Vladdy looking for more of a fight as the poke damage is coming up huge from Kalist. And Broken Blade trying to escape. Caps whiffs on the knockback, and KC continue chasing. They're looking for blood. They're looking to push G2 out of this game. The Berserk comes through. The flashes coming on through. Kalist doing so much to make that happen. And now Baron could be on the cards for KC.
Kalist ultimate was ticking over, about to be up. So G2 very lucky that that was not up slightly sooner. But now KC, they're the ones that are in the Baron area. TP coming in from Vladdy. They want to try and take this, but G2, what can you do? Targum is hunting for Caps if he tries to come through.
Caps pushing pretty aggressively. I think he's just trying to pull them away from the Baron here. He's not really going to commit. Doesn't quite have that Weaver's Wall available as Targamas does look for him. And a flash into the handshake with Vladdy coming too. It's a good knockback from Caps, but can he survive? Vladdy's going to keep trying to chase his Kalist. Oh, slightly wide on the ultimate. A good attempt, but Caps has just been untouchable this game.
But it does mean that you drew KC out of the pit, and the wards at the back of Red, at the back of Baron pit, spotting out the Yike that left the pit, basically signal to Caps, I need to get the hell out of here, because I know KC are going to abandon this Baron area and try and come for me, but it does mean you now have to reset as KC, so G2 come back on the map first, and they're going to be the ones taking control of all these side lanes now. So KC, it was looking so good, but now they're on the back step for Dragon that's in 25 seconds.
25 seconds, it would be solved for KC, but as you say, they need to fight their way in here. But G2 do look like they're on the retreat, and honestly, are just going to respect KC muscling into this river.
But Lebrov did a good job of setting up vision at that Baron area, right? So KC are going to try and fight for mid control, lean in towards Dragon. G2 going to look to try and trade for position on Baron and try and draw KC into Caitlyn traps, potential Caps moments for the flick back on this Toledo.
Vladdy looking as Broken Blade pulled back towards the enemy team. He is tanky, but how tanky is the question? Roots on both sides. Broken Blade just can't escape the fight and is taken down. The rest of the G2 don't commit, and KC are looking at a soul.
It's very festive Roots across both sides, but it's Broken Blade who's gifted over to KC, and now Dragon taken. G2 still trying to move up towards this top side to get something back on the map, but KC are doing a fantastic job of fighting them every step of the way.
And you know, they're only 1,000 gold up, but KC, they are 6 kills up. They are 4 dragons up as they take themselves that soul. And they are looking to me like the cleaner team. I mean, we literally have been talking about Yag being the double agent. He's 007 right now. He's James Bond here for KC.
He's downloaded the intel and he is running off to the helicopter. Helicopter? That's a word. The copter right now to make sure that he can get that. But again, I think the biggest issue when you have a team like G2 is that it's not over till it's over. They are very good at pushing in on sides, looking to constantly trade. And I think this is where KC have a massive advantage, but this is where you prove that 2025 is going to be your year. It's closing the door on G2 in this sort of position.
And the question is it still G2 that cannot be taken down, that always find a way back with these 2 new players? Are they still that same team? Obviously, I don't want to draw too many massive statements from this game.
No, this is actually for the decider of 2025.
The winner
actually,
of this
the World
auto-qualifies for the next World Championship.
Yeah. Auto-qualifies for the LEC in 2025. I'm going to put that out there.
Do you know what? Let's be kind. I say both of them go. I say they could both go.
All right, you win. You win.
This is why I'm numero uno tournament official. It's quiet down, though. And G2, I feel, are just conceding control at this point. It feels really hard for them to push in. If KC kind of put their mark on something, it feels like G2 are, at this point, just respecting that and waiting for that opportunity to make a bit of a mojo play, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think it's been a little bit unusual, because traditionally this is a position where you'd see Caps just immediately go towards the side lane, try and use the fact that Vladdy doesn't have his teleport available and use that Weaver's Wall really effectively. But I think KC have been doing a good job of getting to a wave before Caps can do it. And like Vladdy there, right? Immediately gets into bot side, shoves it out. Now he's going to reset. join mid lane, and they're going to try and play for a mid push into Baron vision setup, trying to get control of the map in that way. And it's making it very difficult for Caps to really create a threat on a side lane because of how quickly KC are getting into these positions of the map where G2 need Caps to be there with them. Like, look now, see? Caps is going to have to try and be in a position because they're threatening Baron right now.
And while they don't have the fastest Baron in the world, it is still 3 items on the Varus at this point. That W passive does do some work for chunking through the objective. It will still go down eventually. TP from Caps. G2 know that they have to contest this mid wave to be able to maintain some level of map control. Oh, again! Kalist! He's unhittable. He actually is unhittable.
And the one time they did, they died for it. So things have been great on the success rate for Kalist. But again, I think this is kind of showing the problems with G2's composition is you just don't have a great engage tool. Like, a lot of it has to be on the LeBron, has to be on Broken Blade, looking for a long-range ultimate or something along these lines, or Caps on some sort of miracle flank. But KC are not really giving them that chance, and anytime someone tries to go for that play, you're just having Vladdy take away a key ultimate, shut down the backline of G2, deny any follow-up, and KC are coming out trumps.
And it's so hard to try and face check into this Varus. You have to go through choke points. You have to try and get into this river to try and check Baron. And Varus is just going to get so much value poking you out with these piercing arrows. LeBron finding that out the hard way, but looks like G2 have pretty much just conceded vision in the Baron area. It's whether or not KC are willing to actually commit to starting this objective or not. So far, they've done a good job of controlling vision. It looks like they might finally be kicking off the purple worm.
Yeah, you're going to have Vladdy reset and look to TP in, but I don't think there's a ward behind, so this is going to be a little difficult if he wants to try and look for the flank. Caps has the Weaver's Wall, but needs to start moving now.
KCR getting kind of chunked by the Baron here. Yike down to half his HP as Broken Blade moves in. The TP comes in from Vladdy. Caps will be behind the play as the Weaver's Wall comes on through. LeBron trying to make sure he's on the right side of it as Vladdy is caught. Oh, the knockback doesn't land though. Yike is in the pit and he just flashes on the spot. Now caught up, needs to kill Broken Blade, needs to survive in that pit. Baron on 4K's Broken Blade flashes out. KC maybe could just burn the objective at this point. That is going to be Baron and maybe a fight as well as they look to chase for more. Caps chased out by Canna as Targamas throws out the chemicals, but nothing going to connect. Canna forced back away. Broken Blade stuck on the top side as Targamas goes down. It's 1-for-1, but Canna turned golden, should end up falling as well. The traps are there, the knockback is there, the shutdown is there for G2, and KC now in full retreat.
Skewmon trying to get on towards the chase, but I don't know if he can do it. Kalist is the next target.
Ultimate comes on through. Oh, the Tempered Fate out from Vladdy by so much space, and what is that damage? Out from Kalist and Vladdy combined.
Vladdy once more coming up clutch for KC in that scenario, but KC get what they came for. It is Soul, it is that positioning around the Baron. Now with this Red Bull Baron power play, they can start to take so much on the map. This is a phenomenal spot for them to be in.
Absolutely fantastic from KC. Such a tight fight as well. So close between the two teams. KC not mispositioning, not overstepping, not overdoing.
Yeah, and I think it's just the positioning here is fantastic. Kana peeling away members of G2 again. The damage used from G2 not having any sort of way in towards the fight. And then you deal with the problem in the backline. And even though Targamas doesn't end up hitting, the pollution still ends up killing the tree. And that's really the long run.
That's the moral of the
story here. But also, Targamas falling does mean that he won't have that Baron buff, but it's not the end of the world when you really are going to be having this you're going to be having groups with everyone, but Kana losing it is a bigger factor.
Yeah, the crazy thing to me is, like, shortly after where that replay ended, Vladdy got his second hijack of the fight as well.
Yeah.
He used the root from Broken Blade. He also used the Tempered Fate from LeBron. Here we go, though. Soul Baron already in the hands of KC. They won Elder as well. Let's see if G2 can contest, because Vladdy is looking for the flank, and that's the TP. Back into the play from Kana. He can be that brick wall on the front line. Caps is still clearing the wave down in the bottom lane. Elder down to 10k, and Vladdy looking for the engage, and they found it. Tempered Fate buys a second. Hansama chunked and taken down. Vladdy might just fall as well, but he gets a little bit of sustain and flushes out the top side of the play. Caps now chased down by Yike. Broken Blade can't save him, and LeBron has nowhere to go. Here in Paris, K-Corp make their stand.
I thought Vladdy would not have that moment in this fight. He didn't have access to the Maokails. He didn't have access to the Bardold, but he had access to Hans Sama, and he made that count.
Broken Blade caught up and will be taken down. That is going to be game. K-Core are here, and in front of thousands of French fans, they prove that they are here to make a statement in the LEC this year. This was just a preview, and I can't wait to see the real movie.
This was a dish best served cold, and the revenge is oh so sweet because of it. Yike, with an incredible performance, but Vladdy, a man on a mission here today to step up for KC and deliver for the fans in Paris.
And the fans are absolutely losing it. The chants are going crazy, the screams, and I think as we talked about it coming into this, we highlighted the pressure on both of them.